Hi there, it's David, I'm the Resourceful Coach, and what we're going to look at today, we're going to do a thing called what I call up and down. We're going to save you loads of shots. We're going to save you at least 6 shots a round. These are such important things for your game to make it so much easier to get that score coming down. And one of the things I always looked at, my dad would always say to me, look, come on, you can get that ball up and down, you can chip and putt. And I think a lot of the time people have this mindset that we should 2-putt every green, so it's like a chip and 2-putt. We want to change that mentality. See if we can start getting those chips closer and see if we can start holding those putts, and you're going to start saving shots. And this was the part of the game that probably got me to single figure the quickest, because I was good enough at getting the ball towards the green, and as a junior golfer I didn't hit it that far, but I'd end up this far away from the edge of the green. But what made the difference to start with before my power increased was getting the ball up and down. And a lot of you golfers, you come to me and say, look, I'm getting a little bit older, I'm losing a little bit of power. Here's an opportunity, you can start saving a few shots around the greens. So what are we looking to do? Well, the goal, we're going to create lots of different scenarios here. We'll create half a dozen different scenarios around the green to show you what I would do, how I would look at the shot and what I would do. Okay, and the goal is, can I chip this ball within 5 feet? That's the goal. If I can get it within 5 feet, on average, this is the average golfer around the world, you're probably going to look to 2-putt that 50% of the time, you're going to 1-putt it 50% of the time. So now we're getting half of these up and down. If you're ending up in this situation 4 or 5 times, there you go, there's 2 or 3 shots saved. If you're in this position more than that, there's another way it can save you shots, and you may find you stop making big errors that you might even get down in 4 shots from here, which could save you even more shots. So here's our first shot. We're just looking what I call a standard little shot. I'm just off the edge of the green. I've missed the green by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paces, and we've got about 40 foot of green. It's a standard shot. But here's my number 1 rule, okay? Whenever I get the opportunity, I always want to land my ball on the green. And the reason for that is simply one thing. 99% of the time, I'll even say it's probably higher than that, the green is the best surface on the course. So landing in that position, the chances are the ball is going to stop, react, and do what you want far, far better in that position. Land it on the fringe, land it in the rough, it could do anything. So we have no idea. It's very inconsistent. The green should be more consistent. So we're using something that's consistent to help us become more consistent. That's the key thing that we're looking for. Now we're going to take that a step further. I always want to land it on the green. And I get people sort of think, well, I just want to land it an inch or 2 on. No, land it at least 2 steps on, minimum 2 steps if you can do it. We might create some scenarios in a minute that may not give us that opportunity. Why do we do this? Well, we're only human. We make errors. So if you look to land it at least 2 on and you underhit it by a pace, you're still going to land on the green. You're not going to end up here. Now in this particular shot, it's a standard shot. I can land it way further than that if I want to, okay? And that's the important thing. You've got to find out what works for you mentally so you can play these shots to the best of your ability. So I've just got my 52-degree gap wedge. This is a standard shot for me. I just play it as a 50-50 shot. It's pretty much 50% onto the green, 50% roll. That's what I'm looking for. So overall, it's probably around about 2/3 carry because I've got the trouble, and then a third of roll. Okay? And that's just all I'm looking for. If I can do that, nothing special. I'm not trying to put extra spin on it or go higher or lower. I'm just playing it slightly back in my stance, pop the ball forward, onto the green. Goal was 5 feet. And I'd say that's about a putter's length, so we're 3 foot away. So I've achieved my chance. And I've gone from a 50-50 chance of being up and down to now probably near 85% chance I'm going to be down in 2. So that's what I'm looking for, but very, very simple. Nothing flashy there. I'm not trying to stick it up in the air. I'm not running it through this rough grass. Just a very simple shot. Let's do it again. And this is our first scenario. Very simple. We're going to create different ones. See how then we react to those shots. Popped it forward, running down, and that's about 18 inches further away than the other one. So still around that 5 foot area. So that's our golden rule. Land the ball on the green if you can. But everything about this video is to get your balls up and down. Get it down in 2. You're going to save loads of shots in a round of golf. Let's go and find another scenario and how we would play it. So here's scenario number 2. We're still going to go with the same rules, okay? We've now got a little bit of a downhill lie, a little bit fluffy grass. We're going up a bank, but let's see what we've got, okay? We've got good 30 foot to the hole, okay? So now it's really important. I still want to do my two-shot roll. I still want to land the ball onto the green. Two-step roll, I should say. Still want to land it up here. So now it's about what equipment you've got, what it's about your skill and how you can play the shot from that level. So I went from a gap wedge from a standard shot to we've now gone to a lob wedge, 60 degree. And why have I gone to this? Well, two reasons. I'm on a little bit of a downslope. And if I'm on a little bit of a downslope, I want my weight to always go with the slope. If I swing down the slope, if we take the club there, let's bring it up to the camera a little bit closer. That's a normal lie. We use my watch as the ball. If I do that and I go with the slope, you can see it's de-lofted the club. It's taken loft off. So I want now my most lofted club to give me some loft. Second reason, I'm going up a little bit of a bank. So when you're chipping up to a higher bank, again, the ball's going to come in lower. So the more loft I can create, the better. So I'm just going to play the first one of these as conventional. Goal is always 5 feet. Get my angles going with the slope. Hopefully on the video you can see me leaning forward to go with the slope. Okay, and let's see what we get out of this lie. Okay, we're just letting it sit there, full 60 degrees, lean on the left side, land it on the green. What do we got? Okay, I've played that really nicely, but it's rolled probably 8 foot past. I don't think I could play it much better. So now it's the skill level. What can I do to improve my skill level? Well, the only thing to get that ball going higher, I haven't got a more lofted club. Can I open the 60 degree a little bit more? What we mean by that is there's its standard lie. Can I open it a bit more? Now, that's going to be determined by the lie of the ball. We've got a bit of fluffy grass, so I've got a chance. Okay, but opening it up, that will give me a little bit more loft. Okay, I was very happy with the first one. As I said, around about 8 feet away. If I open it, I'm going to do the same technique. I'm going to trust now the club's going to make it go a little bit higher, land a bit softer, keep the weight on that left side. Come out really soft. Get over that little ridge. Okay, I think I've ended up about 8 feet short this side. But the key thing, what I did well, is I knew my understanding of my ability, but I stuck to my rule of landing on the green, and the end result is they've ended up in a pretty decent position. So 8 feet, I've probably got standard golfer, what have we got as a chance of holding that? Maybe 25% of the time. Okay, so we're a little bit better on the standard shot, a little bit worse there, but we're averaging out. Are we going to get these up and down? If I can do it 50% of the time, we're winning. Okay, let's create a third scenario. Let's see what different type of shot we could play. So here's our third shot. And now you've got to use your imagination. Okay, this is the key thing. If we go with our idea, the two-step rule, we're going down this bank. Look how severe it is as I come down. Coming down to the green, two-step rule, land it here. Now, I have got one advantage. I am coming from a lot higher. So will that ball stop? It could, okay? So we're going to play two shots here. We're going to give two ideas a go to see what works. We're going to play my two-shot rule with a 60-degree lob wedge to maximize as much distance. Because I've only got just over 2 paces of green to work with. But remember, 5 feet's a good result. So if I go 2 paces past, that's okay. So I've got about 10 foot to play with. So that's option number one. Second option, this grass is quite short. So I could putt it. And remember, the goal is to get the ball down in 2 shots. That's the goal. What's the simplest way? If you're not somebody confident to play this shot, is that going to be the sensible option? So while we're here, we'll just sort of read the putt. Think, right, if we're coming down that slope, where's it going to go? It's going to throw it down here. So when I putt this in a minute, I've got to putt it out there to start with. I don't want to putt straight the hole because I'm going to miss more over here and miss where I want to go. But let's have a bit of fun first. Okay, we're up above the green. We've got the lob wedge, okay? And this is what I'm saying. It's developing your skills. It's having a bit of fun. I'm picturing a spot halfway between the edge of the green and the flag. Can I now swing down that and keep it there? Well, I've hit that as well as I can hit it. And you can see I've just hung on around about that 5 feet. Okay, but I couldn't play that any better playing that shot. But it was using my rule, the two-step rule, land it on the green. On this occasion, it worked, okay? Here's our other ball. And it is balled. I mean, If this stops within 5 feet, I'll be a surprise, but I would guarantee probably the worst case scenario, I might end up 10 feet away, whereas that other one might not have been so good. But again, I'm reading it like putt. I'm thinking about just literally putting it over here, get it started, down it comes. Amazing, look, they've ended up nearly the same position. So 5 feet and about 7 feet. Okay, make sure I don't leave my club behind. Okay, see plenty of them around the golf course. So in that scenario, we had two different versions to get our result. Can we get it up and down? Well, I've put myself in that position. What have we got? 1, 2 paces, so 5, 6 feet and about 8 feet. So not bad. Okay, but remember, everything we're doing, what's the simplest way to get up and down? That's the goal. Nothing else matters. Okay, we've got an opportunity. We're going to go to a completely different green, create 3 more scenarios, see what we think would be the best way. We're looking to get that ball inside 5 feet. So far we're doing okay. Okay, I'd like to do a little bit better. Bit of practice though, chances are I will. But let's go and have a look at that other green. So here's our 4th scenario. We're literally just missed the green. We're talking a foot off the edge of the green, and I see lots of different ways of people play this shot. And again, simplify it. I'm never going to stop a player playing a shot if they can do it, but the most common shot I see a little bit golfers doing who are just sort of getting into golf, they think, well, I'm around the green, I should be pitching. They pull out something with loft and they flip it up into the air. And unless you get lucky like that, where it's hit the flag and stopped 2 feet from the hole, that ball should have gone over the other side of the green. A little bit of luck. Okay, so on that occasion, if you can do that every time, do it. But here are the 2 better options, okay? We're looking to get that ball within 5 feet. All right, we got lucky there and got down to 2 feet. We've only got a foot of fringe grass. And although here it's quite thick because we've had a bit of rain over the last few weeks, the grass has really come through really nicely. The putter's the sensible option, okay? Really from here is just read it like a putt. Don't look to do anything else but that and just get it. Remember our goal, 5 feet. Every time we're thinking 5 feet, I want to get this up and down. Are you going to be more consistent putting it? Well, this is going to break right to left. Get it out to the right. Get it running down the green. See what we're looking for. And that's finished around about a putter's length away, 3.5 feet. So job done. Done well there. No luck in that. First one was lucky. That wasn't. But some people just don't like that idea there. So again, we can go back to our 2-step rule, and I'm just going to do it with an 8-iron. We can look to land it onto the green here with an 8-iron and get it running like a putt. And what's really important, if you are somebody who putts it, read it like a putt. If you decide to have a go with an 8-iron, 7-iron, anything like that, again, read it like a putt, because this ball isn't going to do too much in the air. So this ball within really the first 15 feet should be running like a putt. We'll learn from that one. We can go a little bit higher. And again, just feel it like a putting stroke. Just grip a little bit down it for control. Just feel it like a putting stroke. Get the ball moving forward. Remember our goal, 5 feet. Got it out there. Got it high enough. Down you come. And that one's within, well, slightly better than the fortunate one that hit the flag. So that one's down within 2 feet. So, yes, I got a result with the wedge. That was lucky, but it hit the flagstick and that's ended up 2 feet away. The last one's 2 feet. The other one's about 3.5. It's a simple shot. If there's nothing in your way, that's your best shot. Okay, let's see what else we can create for you. So here's our 5th shot. And we're on a bald lie, horrible lie. This is the one lie that, to be honest, I look at and I just go, yeah, it doesn't excite me. It's not a shot I go, yeah, I've got that one, brilliant. I know I'm going to get this up and down. This is the one that, to be honest, when I'm looking at it, I just want to get a clean connection on the back of the ball and get a result. That's the key thing that I'm looking at. But there is a good part to this shot. Because it is so bald, it is completely clean into the back of the ball. So I know it's down to my skill level to play this shot well, okay? But I have one rule with this, okay, when I look at it. I will very rarely use any of my specialist wedges off this lie. And what I mean by that is my gap wedge, my lob wedge, because of the sole of the club. I like to have a little bit more of a sharper edge on the club, so I now start to use my normal, what I call my normal set of irons, so my pitching wedge and my 8-iron from this lie. What dictates what club I'm going to use is back to our 2-step rule. If I come up here, is to look at it and think, okay, I can land it here. And I know from that lie, I could take a pitching wedge and I can land it on the green. I'm going to get a good bounce. Here's the good news, because we are going to get a clean entry into the back of the ball, I should get decent control on the ball. Okay, that's the key thing. And the only other thing that would stop that, you can probably see from the picture that I put up before, there are a few pine needles there, but they're not really going to affect it that much. So the goal is to think, I'm playing this a little bit like the very first shot we played. So because I'm expecting this to come out a bit low, it's a 50-50 shot. And what I mean by that, it's 50% to the hole, 50% roll. Whereas the other one was 50% up the green with my gap wedge. Okay, if I play this a little bit back in my stance, I feel then that leading edge is going to catch the ball cleanly. And when I say cleanly, I mean the bottom of the ball, not cleanly as in the middle of the ball. So I'm going to hit the bottom ball. All I feel sometimes with the slightly bigger sole of, say, a lob wedge or a gap wedge, it can sort of catch the ground. And I know people say, well, I want to use the bounce. I don't deliberately want to use the bounce. The bounce is there to help me out if I get it wrong. If I miss this by a few millimeters, the bounce will help me. But I want to hit this correctly. That's really important to understand. Okay, so looking at that, I know that sharper edge is going to give me a much better chance into the back of the ball. That's my feeling. Okay, that's how I work with it. As I said, this is what gets me up and down more often than not. From there, pop it through. You see even that wedge coming out really low, and it's just caught the slope. So this is a shot, yeah. How often do I practice it? If I'm honest, never. So here's a chance. We're doing a video for you today. Let's have a little bit of a practice. So I'll learn from that. My weight actually wasn't too bad. I just didn't read the green. I think I was so concerned about getting the strike, I forgot that. And look how easy that is to do. So now what I want to do, think, right, it's going to come in from right to left. The low point, this is the third hole at Corinthians. The bush is over there. That's the low point. I should be up there. But you can see how my brain got scrambled, not thinking clearly. And now what have I done? I've put it off the green, and I'm going to do well to get down in 2. So what we said earlier, I want to get down in 2. There's a chance now I might get down in 4. That's just through a little bit of lack of concentration. Okay, so let's focus back on now, learn from that, see if we can get one of these next 2. So I quite like the contact. I like the idea of the shot. I just didn't think where I was going, how easy that is to get it wrong. Right, we've played it out to the side now, running down, and I'd say that's finished probably 6-7 feet away. Really happy with that. Okay, but I'm quite competitive, so I want to see if I can beat it. Okay, so I've learned from that. Now can I learn from that? That line was perfect. If I can get 6-7 feet more on this, we've got a result. So keep it out to the right, use the slope, trust that connection. Look at that. I mean, really punch down into the bottom of that, because I'm actually playing out the divot that I was in. It's coming round from behind it. Again, a shot you need to practice lots. That's ended up around about 12 feet away. So I've gone from missing the green by a foot, going to do really well to get that up and down. So from the original position, I'll take 3 from that now. Second shot, really happy with, 6-7 feet away, and the last one about 12 feet away, which is, again, I'm reasonably happy from that lie. But sometimes go and practice these. The other lies looked okay and a bit easy. This isn't so easy. So practice it, and amazing then it may help you with other lies. We're going to do one more lie just to have a little bit of fun with it, and again, learn different lies and how that may affect your shot. So here's our final shot, and as I said, have a bit of fun with these shots. I think the key thing is you're going to get so many different shots. I've only hit on about 5 or 6 different shots. We could go around that green and give you 500 different shots, because the distance and the lie will change all the time. What's in your way will change. This situation, we've got the pond at the moment. We've had a really dry summer here in the UK. It's got no water in it at all, but it's still a hazard to get over. I can't run it through it. There's sleepers up there. It'll hit that and come back. But it's having a bit of fun. We're going to stick to our rule. Our rule is land it on the green. But that actually helps with this shot, because it makes you think, yeah, I've got to get it up and over the water, or over the dry area, and get it onto that green. So it's really important to sort of get to the shot, enjoy playing the shot. I think that's really important. If you are somebody who likes to hit a little bit higher, do it. If you like to go a bit lower, do it. Whatever gives you the result. For me, it's the excitement of getting that ball close to the hole. Okay, I don't care how I do it. So I've showed you lots of different ways, whether we putt it, whether we go low, whether we go high. But we're sticking to that rule. If we can do it, doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it every time, land the ball on the green. So in this case, I've got my lob wedge. I've got around about 20 odd yards of trouble, and then I've got around about 40 foot of green to play with. It's a bit wind behind today, pushing that flag. I don't see that on the camera. And it just happens to be, we've got some shadows on the green. I'm going to use them as my sort of challenge to think, right, where do I want to land this ball? So because I'm using a lob wedge, it's going to comfortably get me over. And the reason why I'm choosing this, because I don't want to try and just get over and end up in the water. I want to comfortably get over. I could do this with a gap wedge. I could probably do it with a pitching wedge. But this guarantees for me, I'm over the water. So nice positive shot, middle of my stance, nice and positive. Play it over, see what we get. 5 foot was the goal, hasn't finished yet. It's gone up the little bank behind the flag. There's a bit of a backstop there. Here we go, it's coming back down the hill. I think we've been a little bit lucky. I think we're about 7-8 feet. Okay, but as the shot gets harder in a sense with what you've got in front of you, got a tractor going off beside me here, so if you're hearing that, I'm sorry, is realise, 5 feet is good, 8 feet, 10 feet, really okay. It's giving you a chance. That's what we're after. Remember, we're trying to get up and down. You can hold some 8-footers, that can happen. Okay, again, the little challenge of these shots today, can I beat it? And that unfortunately we're saying you should get a good bounce on the green. That one didn't get a good bounce. Perfect weight. It's just kicked sideways. I'm probably 10 feet to the left of the hole. Okay, let's put the two together. I'm going to trust that. I don't think that's a common thing on these greens. Let's go there again. Out to the right. Should come round. And that's the one we're after. That's round about 5-6 feet. Really happy with that. So the idea of today's video, be a little bit more, let's experiment a little bit. But you've got to learn to get that ball up and down. For me as a junior golfer, and as I said earlier at the start of the video, I get a lot of people say to me, look, I'm getting a little bit older. This is where you can save some shots. Really work on your chipping. Get those chips closer, give it a bit more chance with your putts, and it can make such a difference to your game. I was out today actually with a gentleman, happened to be over here in the UK, but all the way from Australia, had a lesson with me because he'd seen my YouTube channel, and his short game was brilliant. His chipping was good, even stroke index 1, okay, he won't mind me saying this. He'd hit 2 nice shots just short of the green, and he chipped it in from about 20 yards to make a birdie. And it made such a difference. He came to me today and said, look, I want to play bogey golf, and he can strike the ball well enough to do that, but his short game definitely allowed him to do it. Okay, that was the key thing. I think the couple of things we worked on in his game, he can physically then improve that to get to the greens, and I think he'll be better than bogey golfer. But if you can chip well enough, it makes such a difference to your game. So we really had one rule, okay? Land that ball on the green if you can. 2-step rule, meaning get it at least 2 steps on. And then be, as I said, imaginative with the different shots. We used putters, we used lob wedge, we used gap wedge, we used pitching wedge around the green, and you can expand that even more. Some people I know use hybrids, things like that. What you feel comfortable with, that's the important thing when you get around those greens. Get it inside 5 feet. You saw today, I mean, all my shots, I never ever doctor my videos. The shots are what they are. You saw earlier, I got lucky with that one hitting the flag. I got unlucky there going across. The previous shot, I didn't concentrate and I missed the green. It's easy to do. But in general, probably throughout those shots, I've ended up somewhere around about 8 to 10 feet on average. Okay, I'd like to improve on that to give myself that greater chance of getting up and down. But hopefully you can take those ideas, take them to your practice ground, to your golf course, and it will make such a difference to your game. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please subscribe to the channel. I know there's a few of you watch it on TV. If you can subscribe on the TV as well. Please take a little bit of time to do that, because the more subscriptions I get, the more then videos I can do to help you guys out. So that sort of helps fund me to make the videos as we go along. If you have enjoyed it, please share it with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you soon.